The modern-day Battle Royale has taken its position among some of the most popular player vs. player games today. With huge maps and usually 100 players to populate the landscape, it's easy to see how these types of games can be both fun and addicting. Games like PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds and Fortnite have captivated both kids and adults and pushed developers to reconsider what it means to design a PvP game. Games like Call of Duty threw in their version of Battle Royale, mimicking the design philosophy of these games. With the market now saturated with Battle Royale games, and with newcomers still entering the arena, such as titles as Apex Legends, the question should now become, how can developers reimagine and redesign Battle Royale games for the future? To do this, we have to go by a game-by-game analysis and see how Battle Royale games would fit with a specific title and genre. For instance, what works for Fortnite is not going to work for something like Ghost Recon. We aren't building wooden forts to gain a height advantage in Ghost Recon. We aren't destroying the world to gather resources. Each game needs to closely analyze and consider the mechanics of their title. So how would Ubisoft design such a game mode for Ghost Recon? Would it be a generic free-for-all? A squad-based 100-man elimination? Or could we possibly imagine a completely different type of Battle Royale game for this franchise? Here's my take on what I think a Battle Royale for a Ghost Recon game could look like. We see Ubisoft has already created components for territory takeovers in The Division 2. Players walk around the PvE portion of the game, solo or with friends, and can take over individual control points in each sector of the map, thus eliminating NPC control of the districts and spawning friendly NPCs to control and patrol the territories you've taken over. With the obvious development patterns at Ubisoft, where developers take components from each of the franchises and bake them into their new games, it's not far-fetched to consider that we can take this component from The Division 2 and extend it to a Ghost Recon Battle Royale mode. Here's what I'm thinking. Imagine a map completely controlled by enemy NPCs. It can be the game map, it can be a smaller cut-off section of the game map. Each territory in this game mode will have its own control points and sectors that need to be taken over by players, just like in the PvE portion of The Division 2. We'll have 2 dedicated teams. Let's say it's 50 vs 50, since that seems to be the norm today. This number is arbitrary and can be changed to fit the game mode itself, just like the size and scope of the game map. We'll drop these 2 teams of players via airdrop from 2 different aircrafts coming from opposite sides of the map. The planes would fly to the center of the map, circle, and retreat back to their starting point. During this time, each team would drop from the sky, landing on the map below, just like what we see in other Battle Royale games. The game in itself is a combination of PvE and PvP. This is where the game differs from other games. When the players land, their objectives aren't immediately to seek out other players and win via elimination, although they could. Obviously, that will be one way to win. However, the player's main objective outside killing other players is to take over each territory by taking over the control points within that territory. When control points are taken over, the enemy NPCs are replaced with friendly team NPCs, like in The Division 2. When all control points within a territory are controlled by one team, that territory is now controlled by your team. Your team could have access to ammo crates, and could fast travel to any control point in that territory. Eventually, all territories on the map will be taken over by each team. At this point, the teams will keep pushing forward, now trying to take over control points controlled by the enemy team's NPCs, while still battling for control points and territories and eliminating other players. Players who are killed by NPCs are removed from the game. Players killed by other players are also removed from the game. When one team is completely eliminated or one team controls the entire map, the game has ended. As player numbers dwindle, enemy forces may begin to change their tactics, stealthily moving throughout territories, taking over control points way behind your front lines. Eventually, one team will either kill every player on the other team, or one team will control the entire map, ending the game. So, what do you think? What type of battle royale would you like to see if the Ghost Recon franchise eventually created one? Would you want a straightforward battle royale, team-based, or individual elimination games? Or would you like to see something with objectives and a bit more substance? Let me know in the comments below. What's your perfect battle royale for Ghost Recon?